What's a small act of kindness you were once shown, that you'll never forget? My gym teacher purchased me lunch in 3rd grade after I dropped mine. I'm 34 years old and still remember this. My gym teacher embarrassed me in front of the entire grade. I, too, still remember this. Neighbors asked to borrow my truck. Told them I could not trust my truck because the tires were bad. Next day Mr. Neighbor called and said he was getting new tires for his Suburban and I could have his old ones. Told me to just show up at this certain tire shop and they would put them on. Get to tire shop and they put on brand new Goodyear tires. I asked what happened to the old tires I was supposed to receive. Shop owner said the old tires was just a story to get me in the shop. Mr. Neighbor bought me a full set of new tires instead of the old tires he said I could have. I guess they can borrow the truck anytime after that. I recorded a homemade album with my garage band in high school and handed out a few CDs. A few weeks later my English teacher approached me with 5 pages of notes on what he liked and what I could improve on. He apparently got the CD from someone at the high school and listened to it all the way through. It was over an hour long. He didn't know I was the singer and guitar player until he asked the person who gave him the CD. He said that if I ever got a shot in a studio, I would create something amazing. Thank you to all the teachers out there who believe in their students. It makes all the difference to some of us. Your English teacher is amazing. Good for you. I was given access to a shower and a hot meal after being homeless for 9 months. I was 9 years old, waiting for the school bus in Wisconsin winter. I had a thin coat, no hat or gloves. A woman driving past saw me and stopped, giving me a blanket from the back of her car. It was a long skinny one, so she wrapped it around my head and shoulders like a big scarf. I remember thanking her, but being confused. I told her I didn't know how I would give it back when I was done borrowing it. She hugged me and said not to worry. I still have that blanket. I love that you still have the blanket. Alternator died while I was driving home from university. Engine died as I exited the freeway in the middle of the night in a not so pleasant part of town in the days before cell phones. As I'm pushing my car out of the intersection, a guy in a truck comes up and offers to push my car to my neighborhood a good 3 miles away. He does so, and I'm pulling into my neighborhood. He simply gives a wave and drives off into the night. I never even had a chance to thank him. Ones like this always get me a little more. Where the person is very obviously just doing it to be a good person, so much so they don't even let you say thanks. The time my car broke down in the middle of the night and my phone died and I didn't know what to do. A random stranger pulled over and told me we all need a little help sometimes, and I'll never forget her words as she helped me jumpstart my car. I've shared this before and will share it again. Because these people were amazing. Once, I took the scenic route home, through a windy mountain road. A beautiful 30-minute detour around traffic. Great view, windows down smelling the earth and leaves, amazing drive. No cell reception, just beautiful mountain road. I got a branch stuck under my car. Small car, huge branch. Pulled over in a small pullout on the side of the road to get it out. The pullout had a ditch, perpendicular to the road. I rolled, so slowly right into it, covered in leaves and overgrown grass. My car was nose down in a tiny ditch, back wheels 3 feet off the ground. Fucked. But easily got the branch out. Oh man. Then, this big pickup came around the bend and saw me. There was a couple who wanted to help me, but they didn't have anything to tow me out with. Just then, this random moment in time, a person walked their dog by, there are no sidewalks up there, and said, "Hey, I live right here, I'll get chains." He walked to his house, came back in 10 minutes with his large pickup and chains, hooked my car up to both trucks and they pulled me out. I'd been there all of 15 minutes. In a sparsely populated area, with little to no traffic. car nose down in a ditch, and no cell service. We all inspected the damage, nothing major, but the first couple escorted me off the mountain to make sure I could make it home. I got off the mountain between sheer luck and unbelievable kindness and will never forget. When I was 18, my car broke down late at night on a lonely highway in NorCal. I didn't have a cell phone at the time, was too broke. I knew there was a grocery store a few miles up the road, and a payphone, so I started walking on the side of the road. A couple pulled over in their car, and begged me to get in. I was in tears, and said that I couldn't take a ride from strangers. The lady started crying, told me that I reminded her of her daughter, and showed me her nursing ID. They told me they couldn't just leave me on the road at night like that. So I accepted the ride. And was safe. Thank you, temporary surrogate parents. You might have saved my life. When I was in high school, a guy stole my iPod out of my backpack. I didn't think I'd ever get it back. Maybe a week later, a guy I never really talked to came up to me and told me he bought my iPod from that guy and then gave it back to me. He didn't even ask for anything in return. Guess he upgraded to a stolen Zune. A guy I rode the bus with stole my Darth Vader PSP from my bag and tried to have another guy from the bus hold onto it until he sold it. The other guy took it and said, "No, this isn't right," and returned it to me that day. The thief had watched porn on it, so I had discovered sex.net, so guess that's two good deeds. One in middle school, my softball team lost a match. A girl from the other team walked over to me and handed me a blue pouch. At first, I couldn't open it, so I said, "Thank you," and walked with my parents to my car. After examining it for a while, I was able to open it and pull out this really cute softball necklace. I still have it to this day. 2. I had to get a spinal fusion surgery for my scoliosis. During my week-long recovery, one of the nurses asked me what my favorite candy was out of the blue. I told her, chocolate. During her next shift, she walked in with a huge tin full of chocolate and a cute stuffed sloth. I still have the sloth. She also put up balloons and a happy birthday sign for my sister who was visiting me. 3. Another nurse cried when I left and hugged me. I was literally astounded by their kindness towards me. I felt really bad that they had to take care of me all the time during my stay, but they really made me feel welcome. Smile. Also, my surgery was successful and I'm basically pain-free. This makes me feel so old, but when I used to play softball and we traveled to the big regional or national tournaments, we'd get these enamel pins made of something that represented our team or city or whatever really, and trade them with other teams. I loved it. It was so sweet to see these girls from across the US, and sometimes beyond, collecting these pins and learning about new places. I also remember showing these pins to some of my school friends who did not play softball and they were way less than impressed. Lol. When I was young, 19, I lost my wallet and someone used my license to rack up tickets. It was pretty obvious once courts looked at the location of the tickets and what vehicle was used, the signature, that it wasn't me. I had to go to around 3 courts clearing it up. The third judge was the only one with a problem. He said I had failures to appear since the tickets were ignored. I explained what was happening and how I've been dealing with this, and I came in as soon as I was made aware of the issue. He wanted to put me in jail because he didn't trust I'd be back. He wouldn't look at my paperwork because it was an arraignment. He would only look at it during the trial date. I didn't know what to do, but I had the name of the public defender memorized. I asked if I could talk with her first. He called her in and said, "This young man seems to know you." I quickly explained what was happening and showed her my evidence. She told the judge that if he didn't release me to come back, she'd pay my bail out of her own pocket. He scorned me but released me. I just had to return the next month during the trial date. I was 19 then, 39 now. Let there blossom on planet Earth 1,000 public defenders with hearts of gold like this one. Great story. Thanks for sharing. Damn, and you know that woman was a good person, because public defenders don't make a lot of money lol. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.